Board of Directors to order. At this time, we'll have a roll call.
Director Holly Bush is absent. Director Brewer.
Here.
Director Jewell.
Here.
Director Smith.
Here.
Director Roberts.
Here.
Assistant Mayor Harris.
Here.
Mayor Brown.
Here. At this time, we'll stand for an invocation be given by Director Terry Roberts. Our Pledge of Allegiance. Is Karen here? Yeah. Our Pledge of Allegiance will be by our District Court Clerk, Karen Reed.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight and ask for your wisdom and welcome your presence among us. Guide us in our discussions and decisions and help us come to the right resolution for all citizens, and that you may always be glorified. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Just a couple of housekeeping things. If you have your cell phone with you, we would appreciate if you would silence your cell phones during the course of the meeting. Also, if you wish to address the board tonight in citizens communication time, we encourage you to fill out a citizens communication card there on the ledge and get that to our city clerk. She can get that to me so we would have a record of your, written record of you speaking tonight. And having said that, I have a few requests that have already filled those out. We'll move right on into our citizens communication time. First would be Mr. Chris Owens. Miss Chris Owens, I'm sorry.
It's organized, it's just a group of citizens that says, hey, we're tired of hearing about the gunshots, we're tired of hearing about the domestic violence, the trafficking, or whatever else is going on in our city. And we don't want to act like we don't see it. So a group of us have come together, a group of pastors that are addressing their congregants about this situation that's going on so that we can come together. So on the 15th at the Arkansas Rec Center, we're going to have a rally where we're going to rally against the violence in our city. We're going to have different speakers that will make up areas like the school. What's their take and what are they going to do as it relates to the violence in the schools, the pastors, the chief of police. We just want to come together as citizens and say, hey, we're sick of this violence in our city. The other thing is, after the rally, we're going to do a community luncheon, and it's nothing like getting people to talk over food. So we decided that we would have a luncheon together, that people will be able to express themselves, have some concerns that they may have, not discuss rather when it's a kind of formal setting. Most people will talk over food when they won't talk over anything else. So that's March 15th. If you guys are available and can come by the rec center, would much appreciate seeing your presence, so that the citizens will say, I understand that our board of directors, our mayor, are also concerned about the violence that's going on in our city. Do you have any questions?
Yes. What time will this
It starts at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.?
I did have some flyers for you guys, but I grabbed the wrong ones. I didn't get the new ones, and so if you want one emailed to you, I can email one to you guys, if you like.
I have another question. Are you cooking?
I am.
Hallelujah.
If you do have any questions of me, you can certainly contact me. My phone number is 214-545-7165. Appreciate the time.
Brandon Adams.
I think I filled out the wrong one. I'm just here for a project that we have. It's on the agenda.
Okay. Is that a item number 8?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, that is an ordinance, so you would be given, if it makes it to 3 readings tonight, you will be given an opportunity to speak. I believe it's Susan Smith, maybe? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, group. My concern is I have been in Ward 2 for about 38 years, and we have had the last probably 10 or 15 years, it's a downgrade. We have properties that are not being kept up, and I'd like to know, our ward director, Mr. Harris, I've seen you one time in the ward when you were running for reelection one year. And I need to know if you take this seriously, because I've been to the city, I've been other places and complained about some things. It's just, some things are not getting done. I know it takes time, but College Hill, and I'm a proud member of Lifehouse Church, which has the outreach center now. That's in your ward. And I haven't seen anything done the whole time you've been in office. So
Yes.
that is,
Certainly.
Okay. I think you said a lot when you said what, no, I'm not trying to talk down on the church, but I'd heard about you before, right before the election, so, and I know that, the person that I had ran against, that was your person that you was backing, so I understand sometimes stuff come up here being more politics than actually what the issue is. I drive around my ward just about every month and put in requests and stuff about my ward. So you go to my Facebook page, you will see the requests that have been made about what I put in about my ward. So I already got a big issue with streets. We're trying to get I've been with the city manager, trying to get a housing program going. So, no, it ain't about my lack of effort. The only thing I can do is put forward the issues before the city manager and this board. Now, and like I said,
Okay.
the streets, the potholes is a big issue going on. And like I said, you go to my Facebook page, and you'll see I just not turn in a 2-page list. I normally turn in anywhere from 2 to 4-page list. So based on how you coming about it, this is my first time even, I heard about you, but what reason why I heard about you, and like I said, I understand how things go along with the election, and I don't think I knocked on your door when election time came, so, but if I
Right.
did, I'm sorry for knocking on your door, but I don't think I did it, but I do knock on people's doors, so, and I do find out what's going on in my community. So, being said that's basically all I got to say, so.
Okay. Could I ask you a favor for in the future? Is that you would would you post on Facebook general?
Ma'am, you may be blocked on my Facebook page,
And
I
I'm,
never know, based on your comment here today,
Well-
I have blocked a couple of people, from my Facebook page would give somewhat negative activity stuff. So you might not be able to get people on my Facebook page really open for the public, so.
Well, I just wanted to voice, because I've been
Thank you.
talking, so thank you very much.
Shelley, Senator Street.
I'm short, so we're good. Okay, thank you all for allowing us to speak tonight. I really want to thank, first of all, Ulysses for being the great ward director that he is. He has gone to bat for us. Whether it's come through or not, he's gone to bat for us. And I really think you're an amazing ward director, and we are proud to have you in our area.
Thank you.
I kind of wrote my little speech down. Senator Grand Ash, Forestwood Beach, Senator again. My grandmother on Locust, my dad grew up there, and on Hickory. I've lived on these roads more of my life than I have not lived on these roads. 37th to 39th block of Senator was first paved in 1968. That's it. It's the only time. We bought our house from the original owner 4 years ago, which I can say does not happen very often. The house was built in 66. The city paved the street in 68 and made the owners of the houses buy the curb. So they paid for that. For almost 4 years, we have been begging for our road to be repaved. Yeah, you'll come out and fill the potholes from time to time. It rains, and then it's done. My understanding is they were finally sent out today. Guess what it's going to do tomorrow?
Right.
It's going to storm. Guess what we're going to have again? We're going to have more potholes. I have a petition signed by many members of our street Even a delivery man whose regular route is on our street says it is the worst street in his entire delivery area. I have some pictures I printed. I have several more on my phone. I did go from one end of the block to the other, showing the half-decent parts and the most horrible. Y'all, these are historic neighborhoods. I know everybody here probably lives in a newer neighborhood, but we don't. We love our neighborhoods. We love our homes. We're still part of Texarkana, Arkansas. We pay our tax dollars, which provides, for those of you that are volunteer, you're volunteer, and we appreciate that. Some of you are paid based on the tax dollars we pay in. Some of you do not respond to our emails on our street, and I know that by fact. We've been emailing for 3 or 4 years. Ulysses responds to every email and every text that I send to him, whether he can do nothing or not. I think it was 2 years ago, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that you thought that we were going to have a grant that was first going to fix state line and then come back and fix our neighborhoods, which would be about 2025. Now, from what I'm hearing, we're being pushed off to 2026. We have to pay for our cars. One neighbor that is not here tonight, who is a mechanic, the other day, because one of his friends came over, accidentally hit one of our potholes, because you can't miss it when two people are going down the street. He had to replace his tire rod because of it. We shouldn't have to spend more money on keeping our neighborhoods and our road. Every time y'all go fix the potholes and use manpower and more paving tar to do it, as many times as that's going around, I think you're probably in the long run spending more money than you would just to come out and repave it. And our street agrees. If you lived on our street yourself, would you want your spouse, your parent, your child driving on our potholes? I want people to take the time to listen and act. It can't be just one member of this group. We know that we've paid this money. We should not be forgotten in our neighborhoods. Don't put us off when we contact you. We appreciate that you do work for us. We're proud that you want to stand up and be a member of the Texarkana, Arkansas City of Directors. That means something. I was born and raised here. I love this town. And the historical parts, y'all are letting go to pot. And it's really sad for those of us who appreciate it. I can tell you, I lived on Forestwood most of my life. We called 37th the middle road. When I was 12 years old, and my mother had a Buick boat, as I call it, I convinced her to let me drive it on 37th Street. And the minute I hit a pothole on the way to Skaggs, I was put out of the driver's seat. Wasn't that bad back then, but it was. But I do ask that you really please get with it. 1968, I'm sure mine's probably not the only street there, but it's in the worst condition from what I see. Please, do not forget us who live in the historical neighborhoods of Texarkana. Thank you.
Mayor.
Go ahead.
The last board meeting, I asked our city manager is, we all the time talking about Texas side, we all the time competing with Texas side. And I asked him, won't we just put have a street fund and put $1 million in there each year and try to do streets each year, then doing, for the street fund. I know they is talking about, this was based on, they talking about doing a study at the last board meeting, which I said it was really a waste of money. When y'all come here, y'all already about know what street need to be done around the city, and I don't see why we need to pay somebody $35,000 to have a street study done. He getting enough enough information about how bad the streets is from people coming to the podium like you in last board meeting. There was somebody I think brought, I think had a petition too. So that's what I'm trying to say is this here, that they's talking about in the future, doing a bond issue. And my issue behind that is y'all need to, I think before the citizens need to determine what street need to be done before any bond issue is done, if y'all agree to it.
Well, sir, I've been saying this for 4 years. Not to you, because you're not my ward director.
Right,
Not to him till they finally sent me to him.
Right.
And the very night that they got his information to me, and he emailed me, I want to tell you something, he showed up at my house and knocked on the door. I love people like that because they care. You know, and I mean, to me, if the funds are there to constantly repave our road, constantly fix the potholes,
Right.
and pay men to come out and fix the potholes constantly, why can't you use that stuff you continuously fill up the potholes with to repave? But that may be my idiocy. I don't know anything about paving a road. But I'd sure be more happy with that being my whole road top than I am what we've got now. My husband drives a Mustang. You have no idea what it's like for him to get it down the road. You know, I have a neighbor here, that's the front of her driveway that y'all see that is so horrible.
Already seen.
I think it's ridiculous. I don't think we should have to beg. I don't. I don't think I should have to have had come here tonight after working a 10-hour shift, but I did. Because that's how much it means to me.
Do we have any more comments?
Shelley, I appreciate all you do.
Thank you, Ulysses, for everything you've done.
All you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that wishes to address the board in citizens' communication time? Anyone else? If not, we'll move into our presentations. We have some employee service awards our city manager will present tonight. I'm told that, I believe 2 of the recipients are here tonight. Is it 2 or 3? 2. I know one's here. I see him. Rick Cockrell. That would be TAPD for 15 years.
She want these back.
I'll probably see you tomorrow over the next 3 days.
Our next is Angela Hogan, probation, 30 years. And I'm told these 2 are not present. Patrick Allen with the Fire Department, 15 years, and Tammy Cowdery with TWU for 25 years. Y'all give them a round of applause. Next, we'll move into our consent agenda. We have 6 items on our consent agenda tonight. Number 2 is approval of the minutes of a rescheduled regular meeting on February 18th. Item number 3 is to adopt a resolution accepting the 2024 Public Facilities Board Annual Report. Item number 4 is to adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with A.L. Franks Engineering for the design and inspection of Highway 245 24-inch water transmission main project. Item number 5 is to adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Spears Engineering Company for the design of the Lakewood 500,000-gallon elevated tank project. And item number 6 is to adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a change order number 1 for the additional work required on that 12-inch sewer main rehab on Broad and 3rd Street. What would be the desire of the board for the consent agenda?
Motion to accept the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The consent agenda passes. Moving right along to our regular agenda, our first item tonight is item number 7 is to adopt a resolution renaming the Texarkana Rec Center the Terry Lee Rogers Recreational Center. Tyler.
Thank you, Mayor. You all do recall, I believe this came before you back last year sometime, and we tabled it at that time to look into some, the donation of the property and so forth. But this has come back up, and we don't see an issue with the donation from the Crank family in regards to renaming the rec center. I believe there was some confusion last time. We were talking about just renaming the gymnasium, but they were looking for the whole rec center. So I wanted to be clear that this would be renaming the entire rec center after Mr. Rogers. I do have a petition signed by, I believe it was over 100 individuals, but do you all have any questions for me?
Any discussion? Does anyone,
Did you have any petition that's opposing the renaming?
Any opposition?
Any opposition to that?
I have received no opposition.
any other discussion? Yes,
I guess in the paper today, when they brought up this, it's somewhat stated that when this came up, I had voted no in table in this issue. If I'm mistaken, I don't think I voted yes or no in regard to this issue. Basically, when this issue with the rec center had came before the board, I had not voted yes or no. I both basically have abstained. And the reason why I have abstained, now this going back into 2017, now I know none of y'all was up here in 2017, and the reason why I'm trying to say this, because I want the public to be aware. I don't want nobody to come up and say, well, Laney didn't vote for naming that center after a black guy, and he black himself. You know how sometimes people want to just throw that stuff out, and that don't have nothing to do with it. That back in 2017, Lowe's department store, LaMisha Hunter and Scott Pressman, they was trying to get that center revitalized, and that was a meeting over there on Monday, the 2017. And so I had went over there around about 8:30, and I posted a lot on Facebook about all this. So, and I know some of y'all may not want to hear this, but I'm just saying this to the public too. So, and I had posted on Facebook about all this and about the meeting and stuff, what was going on. And then the city manager had, not the city manager, Public Works Director, Jeff Whitman at the time, had a 3-page report they gave to all the board members about what went on there, about who showed up and all that. But fast forward, the mayor at that time was Ruth Penny Bell. She called herself dissing me for having a meeting over there at the rec center. Now, if you're here, I would think that would be our main purpose of being up here, that we supposed to go out and meet with the public and do, and find out what's going on. And at that time, I was on the AP commission, if I'm not mistaken there, and the city had came up and asked for $50,000, if I'm not mistaken. So I went over there too, just to find out what was going to be used with the money and how the money was going to be utilized and all that. So make a fast forward. So what ended up happening, that Ruth Penny Bell, she called herself wanting to censor me for having a meeting over there at the rec center, And basically, I haven't walked in the door of the rec center since then. I haven't voted yes for anything going over at the rec center. I haven't voted no. And also, there is a pending litigation by me based on what happened to me, because I feel I was just singled out and just trying to make an example of. I don't know if it's because of envy. I don't know if it's because of just hatred. I don't know what was her motivation. I'm talking about Ruth Penny Bell. I don't know what was her motivation, called herself. And the other board, they agree with it, and they agree with it if you look at the thing. But the point I was trying to say is that this was a 3-page memo that, like I said, Jeff Williams wrote. and gave to all the board members and basically said what went on, who they were meeting, and what's so kidding about, two police officers came over that morning out Douglas, and Christy something, I can't think, Christy Brink, well, I don't know, Christy Mitchell at the time, she was one of the police officers. She eventually came to chief. She even showed up that morning, but they was trying to say that I brought the citizen in armed way. Now, if something was armed ways about that, you know, they would be the first to speak, say, hey, nobody should not even be in this building with all this in these 3-page report. So that's the reason why I'm not voting for or against, and I think it need to be named after him. So I'll make that perfectly clear too. I just have sustained it for voting a yes or no on any issue to have to do with the rec center since this to happen, and that's why I'm trying to let the public know. That's the reason why I'm abstaining tonight on voting no on this, or voting yes on this. But I do think if anybody needs to be named after, it really needs to be named after him, so, and that's all I got to say.
I would encourage you to visit the rec center if you haven't been. Adam does a good job, and they have a really good program going on over there.
I probably will after this litigation get over about this.
I think that you would be pleased.
Any other discussion? If not, I would instruct the city attorney to read the resolution.
Whereas the city of Texarkana, Arkansas desires to honor Terry Lee Rogers for his service and commitment to the city's youth. And whereas Terry Lee Rogers provided the youth of this city with 40 years of service at the Boys and Girls Club as a coach, referee, director, and role model. And whereas the Public Works Department recommends that the Texarkana Recreation Center be named the Terry Lee Rogers Recreation Center. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas, that the Texarkana Recreation Center be named the Terry Lee Rogers Recreation Center in honor of Terry Lee Rogers' service to this city's youth. Pass and approve this third day of March 2025.
City attorney's read the resolution. What would be the desire of the board?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
So have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Emphatically, yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Abstain.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. The resolution passes. Moving right along to item number 8, to adopt an ordinance to rezone the property located at 2402 Jefferson Avenue and 1305 East 24th Street from C1 General Commercial to C3 Open Display Commercial. Jamie.
So, most of you know this property. It's the old Rakoff store on the corner of 24th and Jefferson.
Yes.
The gentleman who is rezoning this, his intention is, because it was brought up today, his intention is to put a convenience store in the front half of this building, right here. This does not have to be rezoned for a convenience store. It's already zoned for a convenience store. We have to rezone it because he wants to put a carpentry shop in the back part of the building, and it has to be rezoned for the carpentry shop.
Carpenter shop for,
Building cabinets.
okay.
He's a cabinet maker. He is not here this evening, but if you have any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer them.
Jenny, I got a question. Is that the reason, being that you have a separate area back there for the carpentry shop, is going to be open display? Is that,
It has to be, the carpentry shop has to be rezoned to C3
okay.
in order to have a carpentry shop in there.
What's the difference between the open commercial and the general commercial?
The open display of commercial is more liberal. It allows some things like carpentry shops in there.
Gotcha.
General commercial is more like the convenience store.
All right.
Is he limited to, or is he allowed to change?
He can change, yes.
So again, we're going to have a convenience store and a carpentry shop in the same building?
Yes.
How soon is that going to happen? Any indication from that?
Well, the other part of this, which he does not need to rezone for, is this building in the back that used to be a dry cleaners. He's putting a duplex in there. So his intention is to do that first. And he does not have to rezone for that. That's a conditional use, and that's already been approved. So my guess is it'll be at least 8 to 9 months before he starts the convenience store.
Is the owner a local person, or is it?
Yes, he's local.
How about, the parking lot's in pretty bad shape. Is he going to redo that?
I'm not sure. He doesn't have to redo it by code.
Any other questions, any other discussion?
Does he currently have an established cabinet business?
Yes.
I was at the planning and zoning meeting when the gentleman came up, extremely nice gentleman, and he really seems to want to do something with that building. I don't think it's going to be shabby work by any means. He seems like a really professional man.
Something's more than nothing.
Any other discussion? I will remind the board, this is an ordinance to pass tonight. It would need to be read 3 times. I'll instruct the attorney to read the first reading of the ordinance in its title form.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K-286 as amended and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its first reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its second reading tonight?
Second reading, abbreviated form, please.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to have it read on its second reading in abbreviated form. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K-286 as amended and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its second reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its third and final reading?
Third reading, abbreviated form.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to have it read on its third and final reading. Any other discussion? Would you call the roll?
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K-286 as amended and for other purposes.
The ordinance has been read on its third and final reading. What would be the desire of the board to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Let's have a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting to adopt this particular ordinance, is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against? Seeing and hearing none, could you call a roll?
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, and the ordinance is adopted. Moving right along to item number 9, to adopt an ordinance to rezone a property located at 5111 Jefferson Avenue from C4 Crossroads Business Park to C4 Crossroads Business Park overlay. Jamie.
So this is the property just south of the middle school. It's currently zoned C4 Business Park. The original request brought to us was to rezone it C3. We were concerned about rezoning that larger piece of land right next to the middle school C3. So we expanded the C4 overlay, which means they will have to have a conditional use for this. So if it's rezoned tonight, they will come back to us on March the 11th for a conditional use permit. You can see the overlay is right up next to it there. There is utilities and gas and water and sewer there. The plan is to put in a skilled nursing facility there. It's going to be a Bailey Creek. It's going to be part of their facilities. And the gentlemen are here tonight if you have any questions for them.
Just an in general question. I want to make sure the conditional use permit, if the building, if they sold it, moved, the conditional use permit doesn't go with the property.
It does. Conditional use permits go with the property.
So it would be whatever,
It could stay a skilled nursing facility.
okay.
How large of a facility is this? How many beds?
140.
So is that going to replace your existing
It is.
location?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can answer any questions you have. It's It's a replacement for Bailey Creek, that's been here in Texarkana for a long time, so,
What's the size of Bailey Creek now?
it's 115 beds now, so it'll be
So this is-
expanded to 140. I think it's going to start at 138, but we're building 140 beds.
The physical size of the structures first, square footage.
We're not completely finished with the plan yet, but it's going to be anywhere from 60 to 70,000 square feet. It's a $20 million project.
And the size of the current structure?
Oh, gosh, I bet, I would have to look, but I would say it's probably 35, maybe, thousand square feet. It's much, this is a much larger footprint.
Any other questions? I remind the board that this is an ordinance as well. To pass tonight, it would need to be read 3 times. I'll instruct the city attorney to read the ordinance in its title form on its first reading.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K-286 is amended and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its first reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its second reading?
Second reading, abbreviated form, please.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for a second reading. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K-286 is amended and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its second reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its third and final reading?
Third reading, abbreviated form.
Second.
Let's have a motion and a second to have it read on its third and final reading. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K-286 is amended and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its third and final reading. What would be the desire of the board to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Let's have a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting to adopt this particular ordinance, is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against?
I got one more question. How soon are you planning to start construction?
Well, so there's a process that we have to go through. Once we have you guys' approval, we have to go back to the state and get the permit of approval to move those beds. And so they meet quarterly? Quarterly. And they meet tomorrow. So it would be next quarter before they would give us the approval to do it. I think we've been working on this for a couple of years now. So I think we're close. I think once we get that permit of approval, I think we would probably start within the next 6 months as far as moving dirt. We have done some work on the trees and stuff, but that's mainly for testing the soil and things like that. So we have not finished the plan completely. But we use conditional use permits all the time. And I don't know if you're familiar, we're an Arkansas company, family-owned. We are the largest nursing home provider in Arkansas, but we've been here a long time and intend on being here and doing it the right way.
I'm very much familiar with y'all. I've had a lot of dealings with you, sir.
Any other questions?
I'd just like to state, as ward director, I haven't received any opposition for this from any of my constituents.
Any other comments? If not, could you call the roll?
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, and the ordinance is adopted.
Thank you.
Moving into our next item, which is Board of Directors' commentary. Is there any board that wishes to address, any board member wish to address the board?
I have something. I want to give praises to Lisa Thompson. I've been noticing in my ward from street to street that she's been doing, been having a lot of the crews cutting all the limbs. They've been going street to street, alley to alley, from State Line to all the way to Jefferson in my ward. Because I'm from 19th Street to Realtor Road, and I'm bordered by the east side of State Line and the west side of Jefferson. And I just want to thank her for her due diligence and her attention to detail to have those crews out there. She came out and did a walk with me and identified a lot of different areas. Dr. Meredith and some of my other citizens, pointed out some other areas. And so I want to thank her for what she's doing.
Anyone else?
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Harris?
Last week, if I'm not mistaken, there was an MPO meeting, and I was somewhat wanting to be notified that they said they would like to see a little more participation from Arkansas side of town, you know. It looked like I'm the only person from Arkansas side of town that's showing up at the MPO meeting, so, and they asked me, could I kind of let other members or other people that even on the board, something to show up at the MPO meeting. Then also, the MPO would stand for Metropolitan Planning Organization, if you don't know what MPO stands for.
It stands for what? I'm sorry.
Metropolitan Planning Organization.
Okay.
Okay, and they also gonna have a workshop either on the March the 24th or the 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's gonna be a function classification workshop where they gonna go through, and it's something that the city is somewhat need to have through the states, if I could be wrong on that. And you also gonna have a lunch day that day. They still doing a poll online, so if you're a member, right now it's 10 for the 24th and 10 people to choose for the 27th. But, you know, it may also include member from Texas side to show up, but it's really designed for Arkansas resident. And if I'm not mistaken, I even noticed there are a couple of people from the Arkansas Planning Committee may be showing up to that, or at least they made notice on that poll that they plan on coming up there. And also talking about Kyle Street, I think this been going on 2 years out of request that Kyle Street, pretty soon, you probably gonna maybe throw some water in there and start fishing out of the street, the bigger that pothole they got over there on Kyle Street. And also, when I met with the city manager and I guess the Public Works, Assistant Public Works, last year about Pearl Street, ain't nothing been done to Pearl Street just yet. Then that bridge over there, when you gonna do something about the bridge on Outer Street, about how the water's still flooding over and going into the street and stuff, big puddle. And then I also met y'all a while back about Fairview Street, and the resident over there asked me when was you gonna come, when the city, and this going on a year, about those pipes over there, was you gonna, cause they still having some flooding issue over there about those pipes. Now, all this right here, I'd admit the city manager about these areas, so this ain't nothing that's not new to him. This is something that I'm just want to know that, and most of the time when I do bring up something, most of the time that I probably already have discussed it with an email or something. And then my last thing is that there's going to be, I'm supposed to, how can I say this? Well, I'm on the NLC, I'm on about 4 committees there. HD, which stands for Human Development. I'm on Small City Council. I'm on Youth, Family, and Education Council. And I'm also on NBC Leo, which stands for National Black Council of Local Elected Officials. And the reason why that we have a lot of meeting and stuff, and also member of Southern City Initiative, which the city just not put in a grant for to get some money and try to help with. I haven't looked at the grant thing, but I don't know which direction they went to. But the planning people in the city, they just put in a grant trying to, and they gonna get banking through the Rockefeller Foundation and through there's a banking out of Atlanta, Georgia, and they're supposed to help give the city assistance in I think economic development or something. If I could be wrong, but if I don't see. I think that's the direction that the board went. Tyler, when you speak, you can do a little more clarification on that. But I'm just saying that, you know, and I understand sometimes that a person like me gonna be call out, but make sure you get your facts together when you come forth here and call me out about something where I'm not doing or doing or not supposed to be doing, and that's all I got to say.
Any other board member? Tyler, do you have anything tonight, or?
No, sir, except for Director Harris, you were included on that, that four-member team for that grant. So we've got that taken care of, but you are correct, it's geared towards economic development.
Any other discussion? Remind the board, our next meeting will be Monday, March 17th. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Let's have a motion and a second to adjourn. Could you call the roll, please?
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, we're adjourned.